In a quiet village nestled among green fields and distant hills lived two inseparable friends, Amit and Rajesh. From childhood, they worked together in the fields, shared their food beneath the old peepal tree, and spent long evenings dreaming about a better future. While most villagers were content with their simple lives, Amit and Rajesh always believed they were meant to do something big, something that would change their village forever. Every evening after work, they sat by the small river that ran through their village. Watching the sunset paint the sky orange, Amit would say, "Rajesh, one day, we'll make a difference here." Rajesh would smile and reply, "Yes, brother, one day this village will remember our names." That day came sooner than they thought. One year, the monsoon failed. The fields dried up, the wells emptied, and families began to struggle. The villagers prayed, but the rain never came. Slowly, people began losing hope. But Amit and Rajesh refused to sit idle. They decided they would find a way to bring water back to their village. With no formal education or fancy machines, they relied only on their determination. They started studying the land and the dried riverbeds. They noticed that when it rained even a little, the water ran off quickly without soaking into the soil. "If we can store that water," Amit said, "we can save our crops." Rajesh agreed, and together they began working on a plan. They collected mud, stones, and bamboo, and started building small earthen dams and water channels. The other villagers laughed at them. "These boys have gone mad," the elders said. "Even the gods couldn't save us from this drought." But Amit and Rajesh didn't stop. They toiled under the burning sun, their hands blistered and clothes soaked in sweat. Yet they worked day and night, driven by faith and friendship. Then, one evening, dark clouds gathered and rain poured down. The water rushed toward their newly built dam, and this time it didn't run away. The dam held strong. The next morning, to everyone's surprise, the nearby fields were wet and shining. Within a few days, green shoots began to sprout from the soil. It was the first sign of life in months. The villagers were astonished. Amit and Rajesh's idea had worked. Encouraged by their success, the entire village joined hands to build more dams and water channels. Within weeks, the fields began turning green again. Laughter and hope returned to every home. Soon, people from nearby villages came to see what they had done. Amit and Rajesh shared everything they knew, teaching others how to conserve and manage water. They hadn't done it for fame or reward, only for their people. One evening, standing by the same riverbank, Rajesh said softly, "We did it. Amit, we made a difference." Amit smiled and replied, "Yes, my friend. Together, we changed our world. The once forgotten village now thrived, all because two friends dared to dream big." Years passed, and the names Amit and Rajesh became known far beyond their small village. What started as a simple dream to bring back water had turned into a movement that inspired many. Farmers from nearby areas came to learn their methods, and soon their model of small earthen dams and water channels began to spread across the region. But success also brought challenges. Managing larger projects was not easy. Some local officials and rich landlords grew jealous of the two friends' growing influence. They began to spread rumors that Amit and Rajesh were using donations and village funds for themselves. It hurt deeply. The same people who once admired them were now doubting their honesty. Rajesh grew angry. "Why must they always doubt good work?" he said one night, staring at the river. Amit placed a hand on his shoulder and said calmly, "Let them talk. Time will show the truth. We'll keep working. That's our answer." And that's exactly what they did. Instead of wasting energy on arguments, they focused on improving their irrigation systems. They built stronger walls, deeper channels, and new ways to store water for the dry months. When another drought struck 2 years later, every surrounding village suffered, except theirs. Crops grew, the wells stayed full, and their people survived comfortably. The villagers finally saw the truth. Amit and Rajesh had never worked for themselves. They had worked for everyone. Their quiet perseverance earned them not just respect, but love. One day, a social organization from the nearby city heard about their work and offered to help expand it. With their support, Amit and Rajesh built a community training center in the heart of the village. It became a place where farmers could learn modern techniques for farming, rainwater harvesting, and soil care. Amit, ever patient and practical, taught how to build and repair the structures. Rajesh, the better speaker, inspired young people to think differently, to stay in their villages and improve them rather than leaving for the cities. Real change, he would say during every workshop, begins when we believe in ourselves and in our land. Under their guidance, the younger generation took over. They added new tools, solar pumps, and better drainage systems. The small village, once dry and forgotten, now became an example of progress and unity. Visitors and government officials came to study what they called the Amit Rajesh model of rural renewal. Years later, when the two friends grew older, they still met every evening by the same riverbank. The air was filled with the scent of fresh crops, and children's laughter echoed through the fields. Rajesh looked at Amit and said softly, "Do you remember, brother, when they called us foolish dreamers?" Amit smiled. "Yes, but dreams are only foolish until they come true." The two sat in silence, watching the river flow. The same river that had once dried up, now full and alive, a living reminder of how friendship, courage, and faith could turn even the smallest dream into something truly big.